Hi Year 5! Happy Friday! We've made it to the end of another week. I'm so proud of every single one of you. Thank you so much for sending all your work to our Year 5 email address. It's been lovely to see your efforts this week, even though some parts may have been a little bit trickier. Well done for persevering. It's a really good growth mindset skill. Okay, for today's lesson it's going to be similar in some respects as we're still looking at multiplication, but we're going to change it slightly as we're looking at word problems today. As always, can you please make sure that you've got yourself a pencil and a piece of paper ready for our learning? Now, before we get started, shall we take a look at the leaderboards? Okay, let's go and see who's on the TT Rockstars leaderboard for today. So here's the TT Rockstars leaderboard. It's for the most correct answers over the last 7 days. So well done to Calvin, Josh and Harley in 5T, Louis, Devon and Caleb in 5W, Katie, Bo, Amelia and George in 5P, and Jackson, Ben and Sophia in 5E, as you have scored the most correct answers in all of your class. I'm awarding you each a dojo point for aspiration. Well done. There's one more shout out I'd like to do this morning before we move on to our maths learning for today, and that is to these children just here. And that is for their perseverance in the multiplication method that we've been using this week. I know it's been tricky at times, but I can really see how hard they have persevered and they've used their growth mindset to start mastering the skill of long multiplication. Well done to all of you. If you've seen your work featured here, I'm awarding you a growth mindset aspiration dojo point. Well done, everyone. Here is your start test this morning, Year 5. I would like you to pause the video in a moment and have a go at the 4 questions on the screen. All of the 4 questions are things that we have either done previously at school or in the last week with our video links. I'd like to pause the video now, have a go at answering the questions, remember to join me back here afterwards so we can go through the answers together. Okay, welcome back. How'd you get on? Let's take a look at the answers. So the answer to question 1 was 7,830. The answer to question 2 was 8 metres. Now that means, because it's an area and we know a property of a square is that all the sides are the same length, we had to think of a number that was multiplied by itself basically, and that equaled 64. So 8 times 8 equals 64. Question 3, the prime number is 11 because it's only divisible by 1 in itself. It has no other factor pairs. And question 4, the answer was 397. Well done if you've managed to get those answers right. Make sure you've marked your own questions. In today's lesson, Year 5, there's also a mental math starter, the game Fizzbuzz. Here are some instructions on the screen of how to play it, but I am going to demonstrate it to you in just a moment. In my demonstration, I will go through it for the 3 and 5 times table. You might decide a different times table for you to go through though instead. Maybe one that you'd like to work on. Maybe the 7s or the 9s perhaps. Give it a go at home and see how you get on. Okay then, Year 5, so I'm going to demonstrate this game to you. We have played this before at school, so you might recognise it, but if not, please don't worry. So, we're going to do Fizzbuzz, as I mentioned, with a 3 and the 5 times table. And that means that if it's a multiple of 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on, then you would say fizz. If it's a multiple of 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on, you would say buzz. But if it is in the 3 and the 5 times table, you would say Fizzbuzz. So I'll demonstrate and give it a go. We need to count from 1. 1, 2, fizz, because that would be 3. 4, buzz, because that would be 5. Fizz, because 6 is in the 3 times table. 7, 8, fizz, buzz, because that's 9, then 10. 11, fizz, 13, 14, Fizzbuzz, because 15 is in the 3 and the 5 times table. Now, if you would like to with this game today, you could also add a bit of active activity into it. So rather than saying fizz, buzz or Fizzbuzz, you could maybe go fizz. For buzz, you can maybe do a jump, so buzz. And then for Fizzbuzz, it would be Fizzbuzz. Okay, let's give it a go. It makes it a little bit trickier as well. So, let's see. 1, 2, fizz. 4, buzz. Fizz. 7, 8, fizz. Buzz. 11, fizz. 13, 14, Fizzbuzz. Okay, give it a go at home and see how you get on. Hope you enjoy it, Year 5. So the rest of today's lesson is going to be a little bit different now, Year 5. Normally I'd go through the problems together with you, wouldn't I? And then you'd have all your chili challenges at the end. But what I'm going to do is break today's lesson down. Our learning objective is to solve word problems. I'm now going to go through the different word problems for each chili challenge and give your chili challenge at the end of each section. So for chili 1, I'll go for the short written method. I'll do a my turn and a your turn, and then it will be onto your chili challenges. For chili 2, I'll do an our turn, and then it will be onto your chili challenges using long multiplication, and the same for chili 3. This means that actually today you could watch the whole video the whole way through and do all 3 chili challenges if you would really like to challenge yourself. Let's take a look at chili 1. This is my turn, so there's a word problem on the screen that I'm going to go through with you now. It's really important that when we read the word problem that we think about what important information that we need from the question. So there are 124 spacesuits in a pack. A space station orders 8 packs. How many new spacesuits will they have? So I've now got to think about that question. It's asking me how many new spacesuits they're going to have. So I've got to figure out this part of the question. How many new spacesuits will they have? So there's 124 in a pack, and the space station has ordered 8 packs. So that is my important information. That means the calculation I'm going to do today is 124 multiplied by 8. And we're doing it in the short written method because it's a 3-digit number multiplied by a 1-digit number. The first part I'm going to do is 4 times 8, the single digit multiplied by the ones. So 4 times 8, I know, is 32. I place the 2 in my ones column and the 3 I carry underneath. Next, we're going to calculate 20 times 8. Now I can use my known fact of 2 times 8 to help me. 2 times 8 I know is 16. Add the 3 that I've carried makes 19. So I place the 9 in the tens column and I carry the 1 to the hundreds. Finally, I've got to calculate 100 times 8, but I'm going to do 1 times 8 to help me. 1 times 8 I know is 8. Add the 1 I've carried, which makes 9. Now I need to answer the question. They will have 992 spacesuits. So that's answering the question of how many spacesuits they're going to have. Okay, this time round, it's our turn. I'd like you to pause the video now, have a look at the question and see if you can figure out what the important information is inside that question. What is it asking us to find out? Okay, welcome back. So I've underlined the important information that I felt the question was asking us to look at. Did you get the same information as me? So I found that there were 4 study rooms in the space station. Each room had 342 computers, and it was asking us how many computers there were. So the question we've got to do is 342 multiplied by 4. So it should look like that. I'll give you a moment just to copy that question down, laid out in the same way I have the short written method. Okay, got it copied down? Fantastic, let's go through it together. So what is the first thing we need to calculate, year 5? Absolutely right. We've got to do the single digit multiplied by the ones, so 4 times 2. What is 4 times 2? Fantastic, absolutely right, it's 8. Next, we need to calculate 40 times 4. We're moving across now, aren't we? Single digit multiplied by the tens. What can we do rather than 40 times 4? Absolutely right, we can use our known fact of 4 times 4 instead. So what is 4 times 4? Correct, it's 16. We place the 6 here and we carry the 1 under the hundreds. Just like that. What do we calculate next, year 5? Fantastic, you're absolutely right. We do the hundreds digit multiplied by the single digit. 3 times 4. What is 3 times 4? Correct, it's 12. What do I do with this one though that I've carried here? That's right, I've got to add it on so it makes 13. Brilliant. Now I can place this one of my 13 straight in there because there's nothing else I need to multiply. Now we need to answer the question. How could we answer the question? That's right, we could say there are 1,368 computers. Fantastic, well done. Here are your chili challenges. So there are 3 questions I would like you to answer for chili 1. For chili 1, go through the questions, read them carefully and highlight the important information if you need to. Then use the short written method to calculate your answers. If you'd really like to challenge yourself, once you've completed chili 1, you can watch the rest of this video and have a go at maybe chili 2. Okay then year 5, let's take a look at chili 2. This is an hour turn and then your chili challenges will follow afterwards. So let's go for this together. The question says, it takes 38 minutes to make a space helmet. How many minutes will it take to make 215 helmets? So what important information is in this question? That's right, it's asking us how long it's going to take to make 215 helmets. So we need to know how long it takes, first of all, to make one helmet. And I can see that straight away here, it takes 38 minutes. So the question is asking us how many minutes it will take to make 215 helmets. So I've got to do 215 multiplied by 38, which should look like this. Now this is a long multiplication, so you need to make sure that you've set it out just as I have and left 2 spaces here for your calculations, for your workings out. This is the same method that we've been doing all of this week. I'll give you a moment to copy that down. Okay, brilliant. Should we get started? So, first of all, what do we need to calculate? That's right, we look at the ones digit of the 2-digit number and we multiply that by the ones, then the tens, and then the hundreds of the 3-digit number. So we've got to do 8 times 5 first. What is 8 times 5? Absolutely right, it's 40. So I place my 0 here and I carry my 4. Now you may have noticed that I have put the 4 into a different colour. That might help you at home too. If that makes it easier, then please make sure you do that. Okay, next we calculate 10 times 8. So we move on, don't we, from this digit to the ones to the tens. So 8 times 10. But we can do 8 times 1 to help us. What is 8 times 1? Fantastic, it's 8. But I've carried something here. What do I need to do with that before I put my answer in? That's right, I need to add it on. So we've got to do 8, add 4, which makes 12. Fantastic. We place the 2 here and we carry the 1 underneath. So what do we calculate next? That's right, we move on to the hundreds digit this time. So we've done 8 times 5, 8 times 1. Now we've got to do 8 times 2. So what is 8 times 2? Brilliant, it's 16. Add the 1 that we've carried. 17. Fantastic, well done year 5. What do we need to do next before we can move on? Something really important that we have to remember in this method. Fantastic, that's right, we have to put in our place value holder. So we put that in there. After that, we can move on to the tens digit of the 2-digit number and multiply that by the ones, then by the tens, and then by the hundreds. So we've got to do 3 times 5 first, which is really 30 times 5, but let's do 3 times 5 to help us. 3 times 5 is 15, absolutely right. Place the 5 here in the tens column and carry the 1. Next we calculate 30 times 10, but let's do 3 times 1 to help us. 3 times 1 is 3, add the 1 we've carried, 4. Fantastic, well done year 5. Next we have to calculate 30 times 200, so let's do 3 times 2 to help us. 3 times 2 is 6, well done. What is our next step year 5? That's right, we have to add the 2 numbers together. Where do we start when we add them together? At the ones, well done. I'll let you have a go at that and come back here in a minute to see if you got the same answer as me. Okay, how'd you get on? So when I added them together, I had the number 8,170. Did you get the same? Well done. Now we've got to answer the question. So it takes 8,170 minutes to make 215 helmets. So it's time for your chili challenges. This is chili 2. For chili 2, you've got 3 questions. I'd like to use the long multiplication method to answer these questions. If you really feel up to it, afterwards you could carry on watching the rest of this video and have a go at chili 3 to challenge yourself. Okay then, chili 3. So your problem is very similar to chili 2, however, it's just that you have got a 4-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number instead. So here is the question. A spaceship can travel 5,634 miles per hour and it has been travelling for 46 hours. How many miles has it travelled? Now I've got inspiration for this question from Alfie in 5T, so thank you very much Alfie for sending your question in that you created yourself at home. So what important information is there in this question? Well, I know the spaceship can travel 5,634 miles per hour and it's been travelling for 46 hours. And I need to know how many miles it has travelled in total. So I've got to do 5,634 multiplied by 46. I'll give you a moment, chili 3, to copy that question down so we can work through it together. Okay, you all ready? Fantastic. What is the first thing we need to do? That's right, just like we did a moment ago for chili 2, we've got to do the 1 digit of the 2-digit number multiplied by the ones, then the tens, then the hundreds, and then the thousands. So let's get started. What is 4 times 6? Fantastic, 24. Next we need to calculate 6 times 30, but let's do 6 times 3 to help us. What's the answer to that, year 5? Absolutely right. Add the 2 that we've carried. Brilliant, well done. It's 20. 3 times 6 is 18, add 2 more makes 20. Then we need to calculate 6 times 600, but let's do 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Add the 2 we've carried. 38. Well done. After that, we have to calculate 6 times 5. What is 6 times 5? That's right, it's 30. Add the 3. Fantastic, 33. What do we need to do next? Something really important for this method. That's right, that all-important place value holder. After that, we're moving on to the tens digit. So we've got to do 4 times 4. What is 4 times 4? 16. Well done. Let's carry that 1 underneath. Remember to do that. Next, we move on to the tens. So 4 times 3. Absolutely right. Add the 1 we've carried makes 13. Next, we've got to do 4 times 6. That's right. Add the 1 we've carried. Well done. 25. 4 times 6 is 24. Add the 1 we've carried makes 25. Next, we've got to calculate 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Add the 2. 22. Fantastic. Well done. Finally, we have to add the calculations together. I'll give you a moment to do that yourself, but join me back here to see if you've got the same answer as me. Okay, how did you get on adding them up? Brilliant. Let's take a look if we got the same answer. When I added them together, I got the answer 259,164. Now what we need to do is answer the question. So, it has travelled 259,164 miles. Okay then, Chili 3, here are your 3 questions for today. I'd like to pause the video and have a go at them using the long multiplication method. And that brings to today's maths lesson. It was a bit different today, wasn't it? I wonder how many of you have worked through all 3 of the Chili challenges and given it a really good go today. I'd love to see your efforts. Please make sure that you send them into our Year 5 email address so we can see the work you've been getting up to. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week, but maybe for a different subject rather than maths. Take care now. Bye!